Hello, this is C.H.E.K and welcome to my video blog today. I had somebody email me and ask me if I would share some tips for alleviating or preventing back pain while driving, particularly for cab drivers and professional drivers. But since this is such a common problem for pretty much anybody that drives, and there's a lot of back pain associated with driving and or making common mistakes with driving, I thought it was a worthy topic. So to start out with, I wanted to share a few explanations as to why driving is typically hard on people's low backs. One, when you're sitting for long periods of time, your spine is not only flexed, which increases the pressure in the lumbar discs. When you're seated, the pressure is about 140% in your lumbar discs, so 100% would be standing. So when you sit in a chair, due to the flexion of your spine, it loads the lumbar discs to about 140% or 40% more pressure than when you're just standing there. So that's a lot of chronic pressure on the back, and it pushes the nucleus. So think of the jelly in a jelly donut. Think of each disc like a jelly donut. When your spine flexes, it pushes the jelly backwards toward the nerve roots, and over time, the rings of the annulus, like rings of a tree, start to break down, and eventually that jelly can bulge out, kind of like a radiator hose that gets a bulge in it, or a balloon with a bulge, and it starts to press on sensitive structures, causing pain typically in the low back and down the legs. So one, we have to be careful of chronic compression while in a seated position. Two, machines vibrate, and vibration has been shown in many studies in ergonomics and related sciences to accelerate degenerative change in the spine, wearing the discs out, wearing cartilage out, and also can be traumatic to the nervous system, leading to numbness. For example, people that operate tools that vibrate often get numbness in their hand. Truck drivers that spend a lot of time driving trucks that vibrate often end up with numbness in different areas, particularly their hands and their low back, due to the breakdown of the structures. Static loading. Whenever you hold the body, especially with the tail rounded under, for long periods of static loading, it typically leads to stretching of ligaments. Vladimir Yonda did research in the Czech Republic that showed if you put a ligament under chronic tension for longer than 20 seconds, it can cause permanent lengthening of the ligament. So when we're sitting in these static loading postures, if we do not have good posture, we run the risk of stretching the ligaments out that support the spine, which leads to spinal instability and all sorts of unwanted complications. Lack of movement. Many people spend a lot of time seated in a day, and then you get it and drive your car. Some people have to drive as much as an hour or more to and from work every day. Some people drive all day long. I've rehabbed the backs of numerous postmen, UPS men, all sorts of truck drivers. So when we're getting all this time in a chair that vibrates, that's fixed, with poor posture, and we're not getting enough movement, we don't pump fluids through our body, we don't change movement patterns enough, and the body literally begins to collapse into the pattern. So we have to get more movement while driving the cars and trucks and things like that, which means you got to get up and get out of there and move around. Finally, dehydration is extremely common. When the body gets low on water, one of the first places it goes is to the lining of the stomach, which is a huge mucous membrane. If it can't meet its needs there, it can start going into your joints and sucking the cartilage right out of your joints, or the water right out of the cartilage of your joints, and that can lead to progressive compression of the spine, causing narrowing of disc spaces and all sorts of problems. So drinking water, half your body weight in ounces of water a day is a good average, can be a tremendous support for anyone who's sitting a lot or driving a lot. Some tips. Seat position is critical. One, you have to put yourself so you have good upright posture, not forward head and hands out and back rounded. That will lead to trouble even for Superman driving the car. Some of the things you need to do with seat position: constantly change the upright angle of your seat. and constantly change the forward and aft distance from the pedals back. Even one click on the runner, forward or back, or one click on the back of the seat, forward or back, in either direction, there's going to be an ideal posture for you. That would be your base posture. Then what I would recommend you do is about every half an hour at most, or sooner, or as soon as you feel discomfort, adjust the angle of the seat back one notch or forward one notch, and then go down and adjust your sliding rail forward or backward one notch from your ideal position. This keeps changing the motor patterns, the way you have to interact with the pedals, the steering wheel, shifting lever, etc. And that constant change in the motor patterns minimizes chronic loading in one key area, which is usually where people are hurting. There's a wide variety of lumbar supports available out there on the market today. They've gotten very technologically advanced. You can even get some that pump up. If you can get a pump-up lumbar support, again, keep changing the thickness of the lumbar support. If you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can simply take a bath towel, roll it up so it gives you enough curve support, and every now and then just roll it so it's a little thicker and then a little thinner each time you're getting out of your car. Again, keep the body moving. Taking breaks and stretching, I would recommend, depending on how bad your pain is, as a general rule of thumb, if you've got discomfort driving a car, I'd recommend you stop every hour, pull over at a rest stop, get out of your car, go for a little walk, do some stretching. Whenever you're dealing with low back pain and stretching, you can use the Mackenzie extension principle. So getting up out of your car, putting your thumbs right where your belt line is, where your sacroiliac joints are. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, just let your back go back till you meet a comfortable end range position. And then inhale as you stand up. And exhale. Now, it's normal for people with disc injuries to feel discomfort as they lean back. If the discomfort does not go further down your leg or further away from your spine as you're leaning back, that's okay. It means you're centralizing the disc. You're pushing it back where it belongs. Take your time. Go at the pace that you breathe. So start with inhalation, exhalation. When you're hungry for air, come back up. You need to do that at least 10 times an hour on average to help keep the disc in place. You can do it more if need be. If you go back like that and it makes the pain worse and it spreads from the back and goes down the leg, you should stop doing that and see a skilled therapist or a CHEK practitioner, someone who knows how to do a proper lumbar assessment so you don't make yourself worse. If doing that standing hurts, you're going to have to lay on the ground. To do a Mackenzie press up, laying on the ground, just lay flat with your shoulders, hands level with the top of the shoulders. Inhale. Leave your butt and legs relaxed as though they were paralyzed, and exhale as you blow up. Go as far as you can without tightening the butt. Let the back extend. If you feel discomfort, just go to the edge of it. As it alleviates, go a little further, but remember, no pain should ever go further away from where it is. So it shouldn't go down your leg or further away from the spine. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold till you need to breathe in. Sorry, it was inhale on the way down. A normal spine, you should be able to leave your pelvis on the ground and get your arms fully straightened without your pelvis coming up, just like that. That would be called normal lumbar extension. So doing that 10 times every hour or whenever it hurts, if you can't do it standing, will help. When you go to get up, don't be aggressive. Bring yourself up into a 4-point position. Keep your spine neutral. Stand up. Go from there. Now, if you look in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, there's all sorts of core tests and very functional tests you can do as a support to improving your condition. Again, drink water, half your body weight in ounces of water a day of high quality water. I give water guidelines in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And be very careful with pain medications. I've had many people injure themselves much worse because they were taking pain medications and could not feel what was happening to their body. And as their pain got worse, they take more and more medications. So you can take a minor disc injury and make it a serious surgical problem by taking pain medications and exercising, driving, and doing things that you need to be more aware of what's happening to you. Pain medications are essentially blind you as to what you're doing. So when the drug wears off, I've had many people have a real shocking experience when they realized how much damage they'd done without realizing it. So those are some very simple but very effective tips. There is a little booklet called 10 Tips for a Healthy Workplace you can get from the C.H.E.K Institute, and it gives you a lot of key tips for setting up your desk properly, and a lot of those tips could be applied to the car. And there's no sense doing all this for your car if you're going to go sit in a dysfunctional desk, because you're just going to make the problem worse. So looking at the ergonomics of a workplace, there's a great little book called Sitting on the Job by Scott Donkin, and there's many other books on workplace ergonomics. Again, no sense getting your car right if you're going to go sit in bad furniture or bad desk and not know how to take care of yourself there. So hopefully those tips will help you. Safe driving. I'll talk to you again soon. I'm Paul C.H.E.K.